Hi guys, Zach here with another Command & Conquer Red Alert video. In this video I'm doing a troll game on the map Rivers Wild. I'm standing in the bottom middle position, playing as the Soviets. Now the rules of this troll game is, as usual, there's going to be no tanks, there's also going to be no Tanyas, and no Tesla. And adding no Tesla is going to make it really hard because Tesla is really good for the damage output. So we're going to be using a lot of flame towers, a lot of missile launchers in this game. And first of all, I'm just getting this light infantry out, first of all, just to cover all the points and have a look around the map and see if there's any other teams close by. And it's really important to do that at the start, especially the troll game, because you want to know if there's any teams next to me, as I'd need to try and take them out ASAP. But it's all looking okay. Sometimes there is an opponent that starts to the left. We can see there yellow coming from the middle of the map, like up north. So they're probably going to be on could be on the other side of the map. But essentially, that's I've done the most important position to scout, which is to the left of this base. And now I'm getting that war factory out. I'm going to be getting one ore truck, because what I'm going to be building is that service depot, and so important, as I say in these troll games, to get that service depot out so that I can start building extra MCVs, which is going to increase the building speed of structures. So I'll get that out, and now you can just see me stacking up the MCVs. I've also got a bit of space to the left of my base, so that's going to be great, so I can take MCVs, expand to the left, and maybe get on that extra ore patch. I am building another war factory so I can get these MCVs deployed more quickly. I'm just having a bit of a look around that left side of the map, because I might need to take a fight there a bit earlier, because I think there'll probably be a person who's either in the middle left or in the top left. And that's what the feeling is. Otherwise, I'm going to be very, very lucky. But now we've got that extra MCV out, and I'm taking it straight to the left. So I'm going for that expansion on that ore patch there, you can see. And just building that ore refinery, which is going quite slow, the building speed at the moment, because I don't have any other MCVs deployed. It's only when you deploy an MCV does it increase the building speed, and I'm going to actually put it in the back here because I'm playing like a troll game. It's going to take me a bit of time to get built up, so I'm going to really want my MCVs out the way. My base structures anyway, my construction yards. So I'm putting it at the back here in hopes that the other players don't really see it. And now I'm getting my next MCV out, and that's going to be 4 construction yards, which is going to give me a big boost in the building speed. And just getting another ore refinery there. I'm also going to expand to this ore patch. I'm going to get a couple of ore silos out just so I can get my ore refineries in an ideal position. It's quite hard to fit them in there because they're quite big and bulky, so sometimes you don't have the space to fit them. And now we've got one in there. And yeah, I'm just hoping that they don't see me, because I'm pretty sure there's going to be an opponent a bit further up. Just sending an infantry guy there now. I'm just having to think about whether I should sell that ore refinery, because it's sort of in an awkward position, which may block the ore trucks, and that's the last thing you want to do is get your ore trucks blocked up. And now I'm going to get that radar dome out so I can see what's going on. And you can see I'm getting a bit of scouts now just to the north of my position on the left of the map. Just to see if there is an opponent there, because as I say, I do think there will be someone there. And now just expanding upwards with my power plants, because I can see that there's no one there immediately. And you can see how fast this building speed is now. It's doing really well. And we can see Cyan is indeed there. So I'm going to just build a line of flame towers. Oh, and you can see he's actually going to try and take a ore truck to that patch. So we'll see how long that ore truck lasts. Trying to go through my flame towers. And you can see it's on very low HP now. So on the way back, I dare say that ore refinery, that ore truck will be destroyed. And just building some missile launchers from those war factories. I'm starting to stack up the ore now, so I'm going to be able to build some units. And I'm just going to get some flame towers at other parts of the map, because I don't know when I might get attacked by other teams. But we'll have to wait and see. So just getting a bit of a lot of flame towers around the map and just building. What I'm going to do is just build plenty of war factories. Also getting a war factory in the middle, so of the flame towers, just in case. So yeah, the key is just to have like loads of these flame towers, because the thing about these flame towers is when you put them up against tanks, they don't do that great damage. I'm just wondering, was that a Tanya possibly coming? Well, if it is a Tanya anyway, we're going to have plenty of flame towers to protect our base, and there's no way they're going to get through. I hope anyway. But yeah, I think that was possibly a Tanya, and you can see now we're running out of funds because building flame towers and missile launchers at the same time, or V2 rocket launchers, they are expensive. So yeah, it's just halting the missile launcher production for a minute because the flame towers at the moment are more the priority, and knowing that there's Tanyas on the map, it's just really important that I start like protecting these main points here, like these ore refineries and the MCVs in different parts of the map. And you have to be careful because these flame towers do use quite a bit of power, so I am going to need to keep stacked up on the power plants. And just good to put some around the power plants as well, give them some protection. Just in case, yeah, if a Tanya takes out a load of power plants, what it'll do is it'll mean I'll have a very low building speed and I'll have to rebuild those power plants at a slow pace. But now I'm just expanding a bit further up the map, because we haven't had much from Cyan really, and now we're going into, this looks like it's Yellow's base, and Yellow's using light tanks. So we'll have to see what we can do here. We're trying to go for like the flame tower crawl. We might have pushed it too far, possibly. We'll have to wait and see, because this guy has got a decent number of tanks, although you would expect anyone at this point in the game. But he has invested a lot in infantry, and the good thing about flame towers is they do very well against infantry, so you can see a lot of those infantry going down, but those tank numbers have grown a little bit. He's got a mixture of light tanks and medium tanks. Now what I'd like him to have is all light tanks, because light tanks have low HP and would get taken out a lot easier. But now we're getting our missile launchers in to form a back line against these tanks. So we're hoping our missile launchers will provide a bit more damage, and that our flame towers will act as sort of like a front line, like tank units which take the damage. But you can see those flame towers being taken out. There's just a few many tanks there, but I think those tank numbers are starting to get whittled down a little bit. And you can see now Yellow pulling back. And he could possibly be having trouble off other players. Because, oh yeah, you can just see there, I think my flame towers might have taken each other out there, possibly. They're still doing damage to that Cyan player who's trying to get our truck through there, but we haven't seen much from Cyan so far. And now we've got Yellow here, so it looks like he's not under attack right at the moment, and we're just going to be building this line of flame towers. But yeah, yet again, those flame towers going down quite easily, and what I'm going to try and do is, while he's preoccupied, and actually those tank numbers are falling, and now I'm going to be able to get into the base and do some major damage. You can see Yellow's out of tanks now, I think, and now we're going to be able to take out some of those major buildings, so that in tech center goes down. So if he had satellite, it means he's lost that, and he's quit the game. So far so good. We've got Yellow out the game, and now we've just got Red and Cyan still in it. And the question is, which player do I go for next? Because yeah, you got Cyan who isn't really doing much, but he's near to my base. We haven't seen Red yet, so we don't know how strong Red is. So that's going to be something we're going to be slightly interested in. And I'm just doing like a bit of sort of using my
Unable to comply.
Sort of like building defences, but scouting at the same time with these flame towers. And we can see that red is right there in the top part of the map. So we're going to have to just get some flame towers here and make sure we get decent defences. But you can see these are heavy tanks, and that's going to be sort of like a bit of a kryptonite for this strategy, because the heavy tanks have more HP. And you can see he's also got Tesla defending his base, and those Tesla will do major damage, and it looks like he's using them to target down my flame towers. So this is going to be a very hard base to attack. I'm surprised he hasn't moved his heavy tanks yet. I would have thought he'd want to be all over those flame towers. So now I'm going back, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to target those power plants, and that's to switch those like those Tesla off. And now you can see he has got V2 rockets. Now V2 rockets aren't too bad, they do loads of damage, but we can take them quite easily. But this mixture of tanks as well is making it a bit tricky at the moment. So we're going to build, we've got our own V2 rockets, so we can send them in. It's just, they don't do very well against tanks. That's the only thing. Just getting them. Oh, and I got a like little crate there. And it turned out to be the worst one I could get, because it's giving me no visibility. I've lost all my visibility, so I can only see things around my base, which is a bit of like an annoying crate to get, of course. And we're just going to build some more flame towers, make sure we've got decent defense, and you can see those heavy tanks still there. We're just going to try and sort of like build a wall of these flame towers, and they do, like in large numbers, of course, the flame towers can do quite a bit of damage. And because those tanks aren't moving around, they're taking quite a bit of damage, and it looks like I'm going to be able to get rid of that front line, which will make it a lot easier for me to attack Red's base. So you can see slowly but surely, and now Red decides to move those tanks. So I think he thought those tanks would be a good defence, but now he's realised a bit better, and now he's coming in with a few more tanks and some missile launchers, and that's going to be a lot more effective. And you can see now he has got the units. He's also got Mammoths mixed in there, so that's going to provide give us a very hard time, because those Mammoths will have very large amounts of HP. I still think though that the most effective unit here will be the heavy tank, because it's a lot more cost effective. And now his heavy tank's going in, and I'm going to have to be careful, because I've got an ore patch here, I've got ore trucks, and it looks like he might be able to get rid of that, because this army is just too big at the moment. There's not much I can do. I've got some missile launchers in the background, but you can just see how quickly those flame towers are being taken out, and it looks like he's being able to tear through my base, and this could be a very, very hard fight for me to win. I do have a lot of missile launchers, but he's also got a lot of tanks. We do seem to be whittling down those numbers a little bit, but they're still in good numbers. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to focus his energy on those flame towers while those missile launchers get shots in, those V2 rockets. But he's just got too much firepower, and he's just being able to tear through those flame towers very, very quickly. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to expand up north. I'm going to go for his base. But you can see him bringing those units back, and we're going to see what damage we can do in his base, just using some, like, what I'm doing now is I'm just using power plants just so I can crawl further into his base and see what he has, with just a faster rate of movement as well as getting flame towers. And now we're going to destroy some of these buildings up at the north of his base. So let's see if our building speed's quick enough. He seems to have quite a mixture of units, this guy. He's got helicopters, he's got heavy tanks, he's got V2 rockets, he's got mammoth tanks, seeming to build a little bit of everything at the moment. And now we're in his base, and we're going to see like what he can do here, what we can do here. Are we going to have enough firepower? But this fight, it doesn't look like it's going to be the case, because he's just destroying our units so quickly. However, we are managing to take out some major buildings, so we're taking out a war factory there, which is obviously very good, because it's going to slow his building speed. If he gets low on power, that's going to slow his building speed as well, and that's going to be really important, because what we want to do is we want to be able to limit his building speed, so he can't replenish that army too quickly. And you can see he's got some Tesla also right inside his base, so that's going to make could make things tricky. And you can see he's got his power back because that Tesla is firing off shots. What I'm trying to do though is just get an idea of what things are in his base, and what we're going to do is we're going to go for the major buildings and use other flame towers for like sort of like defend against those tanks, but those tanks seem to be catching up, and we managed to destroy another ore refinery, so that's a good takeout there, because we're going to try and get him low on ore. But you can see just those tanks keep on coming, and he seems to have gone purely to Mammoths actually, because as the game goes on, the number of heavy tanks seems to decrease and the number of Mammoth tanks is increasing. So this guy is hammering down on Mammoths, which, yeah, you can see one of those Mammoths is on low HP, so we might be able to take that out. What might be the annoying thing about the Mammoth tanks though is that they sort of like have like lots, they sort of regenerate. So if they when they regenerate HP, that's going to be a little bit annoying. And you can see now we're able to take out some of red space here. He hasn't noticed, and we're going to take out some of these buildings, some of these Tesla that are being a bit annoying, and we're going to take out that construction yard, and it looks like we're getting the upper hand here, and it's going very, very well. He's also got another war factory there, which might be quite easy to take out because it's right next to my flame towers. He's got a couple of tanks out there, but now another war factory goes down as well, and this is making things a bit more difficult because now his Mammoth tanks have arrived, and you can see them taking out our flame towers at a very fast rate. Those Mammoth tanks also do more damage than heavy tanks, so you can see how quickly these flame towers are going out, especially when he's got Mammoth tanks in these numbers. And it's going to look like it's going to be very hard for me to get into his base. I'm trying to do another crawl, but you can just see how fast they're taken out. And yeah, he's able to destroy them faster than I can build them, and this could spell trouble for me. What I'm going to have to do though is I have damaged his economy. I've managed to take out some of his ore refineries, but you can see these Mammoths keep on going. I'm going to try it with the light power plants now, but you can see once again, yeah, I'm able to actually get up here, so I might be able to get some flame towers in the top part of his base. The thing about Mammoth tanks is they move very, very slowly, so it just gives me some time just to take out some other buildings. So we're going to go for this ore refinery. But you can see I'm struggling a bit for ore now, and oh, that was close, but that ore refinery unfortunately didn't go down. But now I've got the missile launchers, and you can see while I've preoccupied him with the flame towers at one end, and I've taken the missile launchers at the other end, and we're going to see if we can do some damage here, going for the Tesla and also going for some of these major buildings. And you can just see how slow these Mammoths move. We're able to take out some of the main buildings here. We're just going for main things like construction yards, war factories. Of course, the V2 rockets can't compete in combat, but they have a lot faster speed. And while his Mammoth tanks are moving up there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build some flame towers up here once again. So yeah, we're going to go for that ore refinery, which we managed to take down. So that's the big weakness of Mammoth tanks, is the speed here. I don't have much firepower, and obviously they're very flimsy, those V2 rockets, so they won't win in a battle. But because he had to move his Mammoth tanks around, it's given me a chance to do some major damage. And now you can see us taking out the last of his ore refineries. I think this might be the last one. We'll have to wait and see. Will those ore trucks go stationary? And indeed they do. So those stationary ore truck signals to me that he's out of the that he doesn't have any more ore refineries. He might be able to build some more, but he will be running out of funds. And now we just try and destroy as many of these construction yards, as many of these war factories as we can, because at the moment he'll have to focus on replacing. But you can see that Mammoth army coming up to the top there. I'm also going to bring my missile launchers through and start attacking the other side of his base. Now he's had to take his tanks to the top side of the map. And while his tanks are up there, we'll also do some flame tower damage to the lower part of his base. Take out some of these power plants, and we might get some of his war factories as well, I think, which will slow his Mammoth tank production down. So you can see there, his some of his war factories being taken out, and that's going to be very hard to recover from. But you can see these Mammoth tanks sort of grouping together now. And yeah, he's got those Teslas online. So now just trying to defend against these Mammoth tanks that are coming to the south. You can see we're not... we've got our missile launchers though there, ready to do some damage to his base. Taking out some of those essential buildings. And we're going to go for his radar dome as well. And also his Tesla coil. But you can see those Mammoth tanks coming in. We'll have to pull these missile launchers back. And you can see I'm actually running quite low on funds here. And that's going to be a bit of a problem because... yeah, I obviously need a lot of funds. Hopefully we'll be being able to take out this guy enough. Because some of the ore patches now, you can see are running out across the map. The ones to the left side that I got very early on that I expanded to have all been used up. So hopefully I'm going to be able to expand to this ore patch here. I'm going to have to see if that... I'm hoping that Tesla's offline. We'll soon find out. And no, it's not, so I'm going to need to destroy that quite quickly before it destroys my ore truck. So just getting some of those flame towers in there. And that flame tower, that Tesla goes down. So we've sort of been able to establish ourselves here now, and we'll be able to get another ore refinery up at the top part of this map.
Construction complete. Building.
And we'll have to see what is next. I think he doesn't really have much to defend with now. We'll have to see if there's any ore left here actually. It does seem to be quite bare. But at least we've managed to get in some of our things here. Now I'm going to go back to these Mammoth tanks, and it seems like they're pushing down into my base. So I'm going to get my flame towers out to defend. We'll have to see what he decides to go for. Those Mammoth tanks on low HP, but yeah, some of them being taken out here. But yeah, he's just starting to go through now, and we'll have to see if is he going to go back up to the top of his own base. I'm not sure here. Now he's taken out that ore refinery, and now he seems to be circling back down. And yeah, you can just see how many flame towers I've got, but those flame towers can only do like a low damage output. And he's managing to take out them, and this could be a bit of a problem actually if he goes to the centre of my base, because I've got all my construction yards there. So if he takes those out, I could be in real trouble. We have to also remember Cyan is in this game, and we haven't seen much of him, so he could be building up as well. And now those Mammoth tanks come in for the left side of the map, and I'm just trying to get as much of these flame towers built as possible. I will have to see, can these Mammoth tanks withstand it? One of the Mammoth tanks going down, another two going down, and it looks like these flame towers are able to power through it, and we can see that Red has quit the game. So the question was, how could the Mammoth tanks do there against that many? But when you got enough flame towers, it seems that they can still destroy them. And now we've got to those other ore patches, which we're in dire need of at the moment, because we are running out of ore, as I say, on the left side of the map. And now it's just Cyan we have to be concerned about. The question is, how much has he been able to build up his forces during the time that I spent fighting Red? Because it's been over 20 minutes now, so he will have had time to build... He should have had time anyway to build up quite a big force. I'm just going over there, over the top, so I can get to a gem patch, which I know is in that position. Yeah, we can see that the other team haven't gone to that patch yet, so I'll just take those gems for a bit of funds. And you can see my funds are quite decent now, again, now that we've got on the extra ore patches. And I'm going to have a little bit of a look to the left of here, because I know there's an ore patch in the top left. Now, what I do know is that Cyan hasn't really expanded, otherwise we would see him, because we're all over the map. So that's one thing we know, so he can't have too many funds. And now we're just going to send some of our ore trucks onto this ore patch here, and we can see a little trooper there from Cyan firing on our ore trucks. So we're just taking some of those funds away, and you can see there's a couple of ore trucks from Cyan, which we'd expect to see. And I'm quite surprised actually that this patch lasted so long. They've done so he can't have had too many ore trucks. And now we're going to try and take this patch with our flame towers. We'll see how many trucks that Cyan has got, and there's at least 3 there, 4. And these flame towers will be able to start destroying those. You can see one of the flame trucks going down. There's 5 trucks there. It looks like we'll get another one down there. Yep, and also another one. So that's 4 of the 5 trucks are now down. I think it's quite obvious the way this is going to go. And the last truck, which is going to be destroyed shortly. So now I'm going to be producing my missile launchers. And yeah, I wonder where his forces are, because I thought he would have come out to defend by now, but it doesn't look like he has. He must have tanks somewhere, I would have thought, but who knows. Yeah, and that last truck of Cyan going down, and that means that... And he's got helicopters, so he's been building... And Rangers. Okay, so we've had like quite a lot of unique units this game. We've had like Mammoth tanks, we've had Rangers, we've had helicopters, and he does actually have some tanks with him, though he seems to be majoring quite a bit on Rangers. Now, and artillery as well, actually. Now, Rangers and artillery won't do too well against flame towers because they're very easy to take out, although the flame towers can't do much against the helicopters. But what I will be able to do is I will be able to get my missile launchers in there and able to destroy those helipads, where you can see the army from Cyan, and you can just see the comparison, how hard it was to take out Red to compare to Cyan, and it just shows you how much the units make a difference. When you're fighting mammoths and heavy tanks, it's just so much more difficult. And now those helicopters are going to be taken, well, the helipad's going to be taken out, so they're not going to be able to fire anymore. So yeah, this game was like, well, we had that early battle with Yellow, where Yellow seemed to get the upper hand, but then he seemed to go back, and I managed to get the upper hand the second time we went in. And then it was Red. Now, Red was the real fight of this game. And the thing is, he was building Mammoth tanks. Now, Mammoth tanks were quite tough in this situation because I was building flame towers. Didn't do too much power. But what I really used is the slow mobility of the Mammoth tanks. I sort of led him up to the top of the map with my flame tower crawl. And then I'd attack with my missile launchers on the right side of his base. And then when he went to attack the right side of his base, I went back in with the flame towers. And it was just me having much more mobility, which made it a lot easier for me to win that fight. But yeah, it did look close with Red at some points. Like at one point, I think it looked like he was going to absolutely dominate when he had all those heavy tanks, those missile launchers coming in. I think he did make a mistake going for the Mammoth tanks though, because Mammoth tanks, although they're like very powerful individually, they do cost a lot more, and he could just build a lot more heavy tanks and they'd be a lot more effective. They'd also move a lot faster as well, so he would have had a lot more mobility to move around his base. And I think that's one of the big factors that affected how effective he was. It was that mobility, and he just didn't have that. Although it's quite hard when you can build flame towers really fast to get around the base. But what he could have had is like some heavy tanks at one side of the base, some heavy tanks at the other side of the base, and defended that way. But you can see us taking out Cyan's last buildings now, and I don't think it doesn't look like he has any more. I'll just check up there a bit. We can see there's an ore refinery, and that is mission accomplished. It is a good game. All the other teams are defeated. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.